Ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the real #1 Kurobot has gotten himself into a bit of a sticky situation. Because what we can see over here is the title, How Are They Mad About This? And Gotcha Smack is reacting to himself on a video that he just posted like 4 hours ago. And so, as you can probably imagine, there's a bit of an issue with the original video that was made, which is going to be titled The Worst Mistake I've Made in Wuthering Waves to Date. And so, to get some context on this situation, I think we're going to have to watch it, ladies and gentlemen. Why is Smack reacting to himself, and why are the dislike ratios looking a little bit meaty across the board? Let's get right on into it and see how the #1 Kurobot has fared, ladies and gentlemen.
In all seriousness, not trying to like farm content or turn first world problems into third world problems or make them seem like they are. I genuinely feel like this might be the worst investment I've ever made in a character. Speaking strictly in terms of like the premium cost of a signature weapon and the value you should be getting out of it, not only aesthetically wise, but also performance wise.
Okay, so yeah, he is talking about Augusta's signature, I can imagine, because Augusta was in the thumbnail of this video.
And then on top of that, to make it even worse, the new set that is specifically built for two characters in mind, to my knowledge, which is Augusta and Yuno.
Yeah.
This set is quite dog shit. Now, it might be better on Yuno, but
the set is Crown of Valor is bad. Not really. I don't think so. It's a pretty strong set. It gives 30% attack and 20% crit damage. I'm waiting for the reasoning.
You know, well,
yeah, because this is, well, let's just be honest here, right? This is the topical area that he's talking about over here. He's talking about Thunderflare Dominion, this sword, and then he's also talking about, well, Crown of Valor, this set. So yeah, 30% attack with 5 stacks, and then 20% crit damage, which is a pretty healthy combination.
we'll have to wait and see how it is. But as of now, for Augusta, I poured a lot of resources into this set, and I spent good money on the weapon. Now, I got a little bit luckier than others, but on average, a lot of people probably spent $100 to get this weapon. And the only real value you're getting out of it is a literal sword change inside of her ult mode. And then the damage increase, well, if you have the Verdant Summit, I'm gonna be real, there's not really a difference in performance. You can make the most cope argument that there's like a 1% difference, but the clear times from somebody who has been like literally no-lifing the rotation, every day I wake up, I log on and I do more and more just to confirm that I'm not tripping. Yeah, no, I mean, I think anybody who pulled on this weapon and your only goal wasn't just, and I'll just go ahead and show it to you right now.
Yeah, I think the take that he's making here is correct. That Verdant Summit, if you do use it on Augusta, and this is the weapon that he's talking about over here. If you use Verdant Summit on Augusta, your performance is really good. She's very strong using this because, A, she's able to basically maintain full uptime on its entire effect. There's a very minimal difference in clear time, and it's strong on her. I typically view this as, like, good for a majority of the player base because Augusta is a new unit, right? And the last time that Gian re-ran was version 2.0 as part of like the big banner, and then he ran in version 1.3, and then he ran in version 1.0, right? He's had about 3 reruns, and you know, a lot of people might have pulled him on his first time around as day 1 players, but a lot of people like haven't, right? And so the way that I view this is that Augusta is a very high value character for individuals that are day 1 players or like veterans, right, who might already have Verdant Summit. And so my point of view is that, well, you basically get like 99% of the character if you already have Verdant Summit, which is like cool, right? I view this as a plus that Verdant Summit wasn't that far behind other signatures or far behind Augusta's sig because, well, it feels like a reward for day 1s. And if you're a relatively newer player that maybe started in like version 2.4 or 2.5, then it's like, well, Augusta's weapon is stronger on her than Gian's, so you might as well get it. And so it's like, you don't pull it if you're a veteran player, and if you're a new player, then you can pull her weapon. And it's like, you know, not that big of an upgrade, but it's also like you can't like pull Gian's weapon right now. So I kind of viewed it as like a plus that the performance is so similar because it's like it's a nice little treat if you're somebody that has this. That's my take on the issue.
Your only goal wasn't just, ooh, she looks good in the startup screen with this weapon. and she looks cool in her ultimate with this weapon.
Oh, yeah, and if you're a new player, I guess you can pull Verdant Summit from the New Voyage banner. That's true. You can pull Verdant Summit from the New Voyage banner, I guess, if you want, for the first 28 days after starting the game, too.
If that wasn't your only goal, quote-unquote scam. Quote-unquote, because it's not technically a scam, but there's a certain baseline of weapon performance that I expect to be met inside of gacha games because of the premium cost of these weapons. And there's...
Well, Augusta's, like, blowing up content with her SIG and with Gion's SIG.
There's two different conditions I need to be fulfilled. I'll give you an example. Not only am I looking for an aesthetic please when I wear these weapons, it looks very nice on my character. I get to see some cool like animations while I'm using it in combat. But when I pull a signature weapon, I'm also expecting a comfort to be attached to the weapon's conditions to pull out the full efficacy of that character.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of this, right? When using Resonance Liberation, the wielder gains a 48% Resonance Liberation damage bonus for 8 seconds.
Yeah, perfectly interacts with Zhang Li's kit. He's able to refresh the duration on this, no issues at all.
Easiest fucking cast and uptime of all time, right?
Yeah.
If I come over here to Rochia, same thing. Every time basic attack or intro skill is cast, heavy attack damage bonus increased by 48% for 3 seconds. These are conditions.
Yeah.
You're paying for that comfort and that ease.
Yeah.
When I come over here to Augusta, I have to clock in for this to really pop off. Why?
That's because this effect is stronger than other signatures, but it requires like more buildup to get there. There are similar weapons like this in the game. One of the examples that I like to think about is actually Zhang Li's signature, where Blazing Brilliance at max stacks, right? You can see the max stacks over here. 4 times 14 is 56% resonance skill damage bonus. If you look at all the other weapons released in the same time frame, just look at, let's just say, let's look at Jinxi's, right? You look at Jinxi's weapon, this thing just gives 48% resonant skill damage, right? This thing gives 48%, or, sorry, that's the wrong sword, General. This thing gives 48% heavy attack damage bonus. This thing gives 56, but has more tricky activation conditions and a bit more of a time limit. So you get like a better reward, but you kind of have to like work to optimize the effect on this weapon over here. And it's kind of like the same for Augusta, where this weapon effect is stronger than Gion's, but it will require you to actively build up to it. So you're not going to get the full benefit like immediately at the start of your rotation. So I don't particularly see too much of a design with it, especially like knowing that A, it's stronger overall, but you have more hoops to jump through. It's, you know, it's a different way of like, you know, flexing the damage curve there.
Why the fuck do you have a 0.5 second internal cooldown on a signature weapon? What is the logic in this? You gave me a 0.5 second. So when I do any of her moves that can do 5 ticks, I'm getting butchered on the uptime here.
It's because they don't want to make the weapon too strong and give you full access to its 36% defense shred on like at the very start of a rotation. The way that I view it is that this weapon's effect is strong, but it's meant to be built up to across your rotation, and then it's active when you're delivering your biggest hits, which traditionally it should be if you are rotating throughout. Well, let's just show off a traditional Augusta rotation, right? And one thing that they've done in this game that's pretty good in this most recent patch is they've made it really clear, right, when certain buffs are actually occurring. So if you like we'll just like pop into the TOA real fast to like demonstrate it. Augusta will literally have like a marker at the bottom of her screen where all of the like buffs will like actively show up, right? So we've got this rotation over here, just very, very standard team, and then we'll kind of just like go through it. So the goal is for Augusta's SIG to be like capped out as I'm doing the most damaging parts of her rotation, right? Which, as I'm pretty certain it like will do that. Okay. Feel my wrath. You can see the stacks over here, right? Yeah, I'm stacked up. That's my first liberation hit, right? And now we got the enhanced skills, which are all my other damage. And we're basically good on that. I just don't have my liberation ready to go with all the full stacks because I didn't wait 4 seconds before going into combat. So the weapon seems to at least stack up to me quite easily. And if you're doing her baseline rotation, let's just do it again. Make sure we get our majesty this time. As long as you're just doing your baseline rotation, you will have all 5 stacks active in like almost 2 seconds. And then for every single damaging attack of your kit, like your first liberation cast, your enhanced skill chain, it's all there. So I guess it's like, maybe Smack's doing like some weird rotation where he's like not building up the stacks beforehand before using his big hits. Like, yeah, you can see over here, right? I'm already at 5. We do our big hit. I'm at 5 for all these big hits. And when I use the liberation, I'm at 5. So it's like all of the meaningful damage in my kit has been buffed by that. Yeah, that's just what I've observed across my gameplay. So like the whole stacking component, I guess you could say it for the stacking component of like Crown of Valor as well. I haven't experienced any issues at all doing the gameplay that I'm doing. So I can only assume that Smack is doing something different in his rotation. Maybe he's like front loading the cast of his Resonance Liberation. Maybe he's like entering the field with 2 Majesty stacks and then using his Liberation outright. And I guess if that's the case, then he's kind of going against how these mechanics are like designed on the weapon and the set. And it's like maybe front loading too much damage, and maybe like the lack of flexibility in that rotation, right? Maybe the lack of flexibility in that rotation is like what he's fighting a bit of an issue with.
And it's just, it doesn't feel good. Now, I will say the 7-second.
I will say the rotation felt fine to me personally. I'm not going to say that it not feeling good and that being his opinion is like wrong, but to me, it feels fine.
Uptime is nice because that gives me enough time to comfortably go through a rotation, bring her back onto the field, and still have the uptime there available for me to immediately cast my ultimate. But now,
oh, he's doing something weird then. If he's like building up 5 stacks and then intro skilling on Augusta, and he has 5 stacks when he's intro. Yeah, he's doing something weird then.
we run into the other problem. You have a 7-second uptime on her ultimate. However, when you go to the set that's supposed to be low-key designed for her, it's a 4-second uptime. And the conditions are the exact same. Upon gaining a shield, you get stacks, right? If you get any shields, those equate to stacks.
All right, I think I need to see what he's doing. Because I'm going to be real. I've never run into an issue with this in my gameplay. And I guess, like, if you're following, like, the... Oh, I see.
You might very well be playing...
I see. Okay. Maybe this is where it's...
All right, let's try and walk you guys through this. So one of the things I didn't show you in the tutorial is that her purple ult, which is right there at the bottom right-hand corner, it's swap out friendly. And that's the first thing you want to do. Very important. Start working. Boom. And I'm using both of his... As you can...
Maybe let's watch the showcase. Yeah, I think the showcase is just this video without the pausing. Okay, let's see what he does here. Okay, so he starts off with the big... Oh, that's a little... I was gonna say, like, starting off with that is kind of... I mean, it's a pretty big motion value. Like, that's a lot to cast while unbuffed. I'm just saying, that's a lot of damage to miss out on when you don't have Rejuvenating Glow, you don't have Shorekeeper's Outro, you don't have the Stellar Realm, you don't have Moonlit Clouds or Empyrene Anthem's buff, you don't have Static Mist buff either. That's a lot of, like, missing buffs to use, like, a motion value this high on. That's, I guess that's just the first thing I've observed. Okay, we're going through the entire rotation still unbuffed.
In control. Undying glory. Leave it to me.
I see why he's upset, but I guess it's also like, damn, that's a lot of Augusta's moveset that we're using without any outro buffs, without like rejuvenating glow, with like, that's a lot of like unbuffed attacks. That's basically like her entire rotation unbuffed. Yeah.
Loading, steadying war with time.
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. As you wish.
Fight, stand tall.
Yeah, he's using his liberation right after touching down. I see.
Yeah, one strike is enough.
All right, so I guess just looking at that, that was like a 149k, right? I guess it's like, I guess we can test it out against that boss. Gonna go against the Lampy Lumen boss that Smack went against, and we'll just do like a bit of like a comparison to see like what the damage is looking like across this rotation. You've got to use Moonlit Mortify. Do I have to? I'm pretty sure Empyrene should just make my Augusta do less damage. I have Empyrene on Mortify right now. I feel like that's gonna be worse for looking at Augusta's personal. I don't think it matters that much. If anything, Moonlit just provides more damage buffs.
Fury boils. Burn. Burn to ashes.
This is mine. Pathetic struggle. Oh, Lord.
Okay, all right.
My valor never bends. Oath from the heart.
It's about in about 30 seconds, we did about that much of the guy's HP.
Is enough. Mobility lowered.
Yeah, I feel like the unbuffed, like, attack chain that we did on, like, Augusta at the start, that is kind of, like, meaningfully eating into, like, some of the personal damage that the team can do. I mean, I can kind of, like, see where the vision is coming from, but maybe, like, a double intro, if you're doing something like this, maybe makes more sense. Yeah, like a double intro situation going on. Let me actually try out what I think Smack, like, maybe a better version of what I think Smack is trying to do. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I think we waited 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll do it now. Fucking Majesty stacks, bro.
This is mine. Invincible. Perceptimon.
Oh my gosh, we got fucking obliterated.
As you wish. Silence.
Conquest begins now.
I think it's like a little bit like this. Yeah, and as you can see over here, yeah, my damage kind of fell off a lot, right? Which is going to be naturally due to, like, the whole stack and stuff that he was talking about. But it's also due to the fact that I did, like, half of my attacks in that rotation, like, unbuffed by Mortify's heavy attacks. And you're able to get all of that stuff done within the duration of Mortify's outro. This is also the other thing, is we still haven't watched the rest of Smack's rotation, so maybe he does some crazy shit over here after he uses his liberation. Right, he's doing all the slashes.
Is enough. In control.
I see what the issue is here.
Roars of conquest. Sing of my
Okay, so he's doing all of that, unfortunately, while not being buffed by this effect. So Augusta has something built into her kit called Crown of Wills, which is a buff that grants her about 15% electro damage. And when you use Sublime as the Sun, Everbright Protector, which is this attack at the end of the time stop where she, you know, she like slashes, Crown of Wills is removed. And so the idea is that her first inherent restores Crown of Wills at the start of her rotation. You're supposed to go through the entire rotation and then cap it off with Sublime as the Sun. And then Crown of Wills gets removed, but then you get it again on the next outro skill from your teammate. And so what's kind of happening over here is that Smack is like using Crown of Wills with this attack over here, and then going through another rotation, right? Without the Crown of Will buffs active. So that's like another thing. Saying I'm here, put me in call. All right, for sure, man. Yeah, let's do it. Where you at? Where you at, brother? Yeah, no, I'm happy to walk through this. I'm just more so having like a bit of a discussion for like, I'm just doing like comparisons between the two runs, right? And then talking about why there's like a damage difference between the two with like the timing that's going on right now, right? And I'm also talking about how I think that your approach makes sense, but unfortunately the design of her kit like kind of goes against the approach that you're saying. Yeah, I kind of view Augusta's restrictions as similar to Carlotta losing damage bonuses if she swaps off. All right. Do you want to record this part? Yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, it's just... Yeah, I'm already calling you on Discord, brother. I'm already calling you on Discord. Yeah, this is like a kit restriction messing with a, like, personally cooked up rotation. And this is the thing. I don't think that there's anybody necessarily wrong over here. It's just, I kind of view Augusta as like a beginner character. Like how Carlotta's a beginner character. And you can kind of like fuck up parts of their kit by like taking them to that next level.
Hey, hold on, Saint. Give me a second, brother. I need my headphones.
All right, for sure. Yeah, no, you're popping up good. You're popping up good. All right.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. How you doing?
Yo, Saint, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
There we go. All right, Care. Yeah, I was just tuning into your last like 5 minutes of it. By the way, I just want you to know, brother, I'm not in here to like fucking blow up your head or anything. I think there's one way to like literally just shut me up. There's literally one way to definitively do it. Just do the Lampy Lumen with your rotation, and if you beat the 54-second clear time that I did, well, there you go, you know. Or if it's like a similar time, then it's the same shit.
Yeah, I guess we just looked at the first 30 seconds of both, and basically at 30 seconds, your HP bar was at like about like the half mark. About the half mark. In my 30-second run, that thing had like about 1/3, maybe 1/4 left. So I could do the whole run. I could do the whole run too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I know, and I completely understand that. But the thing is, you know, one rotation, two rotations could look a lot different. It can end up being a minute long due to whatever.
True.
It's just better to literally run through it all and then have that definitive answer. Nobody can argue with the fact laid before them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. And just as like a bit of a just as like for some additional context, this is the stats of my Augusta over here. We're at like, it could be better. Like my hits could be fatter. But I'm running like 90. I'm over capping on crit with her build. So it's like I could optimize the echoes further. And I'm pretty sure with like some crit fishing, you could get like varying results. But that's not really happening with this one. So
would you like me to send me yours? I mean, mine? I'll give you a quick screenshot.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. We could just put them up on screen. I think your Mortiphy was on Moonlit Clouds, right? I was on Empyrene, but I can switch back to Moonlit. No problem.
Oh no, dude! Look, whatever you think is the better way, that is the best truth for the people to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here you go, buddy.
All right, let's see what it's looking like. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Mine is better. I got like a little bit more ER. I got more crit damage. I got more attack. I got like 200 more attack. Yeah, no, her pieces are. I'll just show you her pieces. We got this one's kind of nuts. This one's kind of fucking nuts, too.
Damn, bro.
We got an attack roll on almost. We got attack percentage roll on basically every piece except for the 4 cost, and that one has 10.5, right? And
that's something I feel like that easily doesn't get mentioned either, and it can obscure the vision of what the rotation actually is going to end up looking like. For example, I have a fucking level 60 cadenza on my Mortephy. You know what I mean? That's another DPS factor.
Oh, you're not using static mist on him?
No, I'm not. I actually ended up. And that, to be honest with you, that was just pure skill issue preference. I didn't like static mist in the rotation on the way I was doing it because I would run into this fucker still not having his concerto up.
Yeah,
so I switched to cadenza.
Yeah, all right, then I'll just do like my traditional rotation. I'll kind of like show you, the stuff that's going on. Clearly, the Mortiphy is not meant to do any damage at all, so we'll kind of like discount his stuff. And then for Augusta, let me go see if I can put some more stuff on her. I would say the crit rate, not really like too much of an issue, but like, I think I have a worse forecast. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. This thing's kind of dog shit in comparison.
Okay, now I'm watching what you're looking.
The attack is a little bit, the attack is still high, but like, I think I've cut down on the crit rate a little bit, and I only got like 22% heavy attack. So it's probably comparable at this point.
Go to, you're a little lagging for me because I can't watch you in real time. Can you just go to your stat screen just so I can see it?
Yeah.
Just for a bit, like momentarily. Okay, so you're looking at 81,223 on the crit. I'm 84,212. That's good enough, man. And then you got 283 more attack than I do. Are you rocking one attack, one electro?
No, I'm running double electro.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, it's still definitely some difference, but I think it's fine, bro. That ain't that big of a deal. I just want to see how yours fares against mine with a full rotation.
All right, let's do it then. Let's do it. Okay, so Lampy Lumen boss. I'll kind of just
Bro,
like
suffering from success over here, chat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my guess is a little bit cracked. 4 out of 5, like the attack subs are almost 10% each. Yeah, I'm
this
just trying
rotation is absolutely the simple one, though. There's no question about it.
Oh, yeah, and I think this is the thing. She's kind of like a Carlotta, in my opinion, where she's almost like designed to be a lot easier like a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how
I'll
fast
let you lock in. My bad. I got you talking and shit. Do you think, man?
Oh, good. Here we go.
Yeah, see, as I'm watching you right now, it's most certainly shitting on mine pound for pound as we look, but I just want to see what it looks like at the end. A lot of damage.
Yeah, and you can see how fast this rotation is. The what's it called? The Stellar Realm's still on cooldown. Like, Mortify's stuff is like almost on cooldown by the time we're like...
Right.
Like, even like Augusta's Liberation is like on cooldown. We're like going too fast.
Yeah, you're waiting on a cooldown to come back.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the second Liberation. Yeah, that was like a 413.
That was a 5 second. I think one of mine's I got a 408. And that wasn't even the fucking crown set build. So
yeah,
that was a 4 second difference with a little bit of stat discrepancy. What was it? 250 more attack plus another 20 crit damage.
I would dare say that, unfortunately, with this boss kind of has like a low HP pool. And so it's like with your rotation front loading more of the damage at like the start of the rotation, it'll like work a lot better against the bosses with like a lower HP pool.
Say less.
Yeah.
You're right. If you were to go up against somebody with a much more health pool and get that second ult off, that's where you would see that damage difference come into play.
Yeah, because I didn't even make it into the second ult. We killed it on like the air attack of her enhanced skill chain.
Yeah, that's completely fair. So with a bit of a higher health threshold, then the damage discrepancy would actually separate further.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, side towers, I don't think it's a big deal. Do, like, whatever the hell you want, right? You got, like, 2 minutes. If the character's fully built, like, almost, you can, like, solo that shit with half the roster, right? But, like, I think, like, in the middle tower, and probably there's, like, 2 more floors that are coming, right, in the next update, and Overdrive Zone 2, probably holograms. It's just that other rotation is, like, that additional uptime on, like, that Crown of Wills buff, getting, like, Mortify's outro for, like, that first cast of the Liberation. I think it really pushes the damage forward, like, a lot more. And, you know, it directly interacts with, like, I think all the issues that you had with, like, the weapon, right? Where it's like, like, but if you're doing her entire rotation in one go, you stack this thing up in, like, literally, like, 5 attacks, like 4 seconds, and it's active for all your big hits. So, yeah, that's why I had like such a different experience than you. I think it's because you were just cooking up a different rotation, trying to be creative with it.
Right. Well, I think that's the biggest problem I still have with the signature weapon once again. So because it's such a high premium cost on it, I don't see why it should be confined to one particular way of a rotation. I think that's just stupid.
I think that's a fair point, right? I think you're raising a fair point, and the thing is, it's just, I think that's just the design of this character, to be honest. She's that's fair. I think she's meant to be for beginners, and like I kind of view it like as like a free pick me up for veterans too. If you have Gion Sig, the performance, like you said, is like almost the same, and I view it as a plus that like it's kind of similar, because now it's like brother, if you're a day one that pulled Gion, like, just don't even pull this, right? And now you got electro damage for free. It feels like a nice boost for people that invested back then. And then it's just, I think this is the other thing, right? Is it scales really well with like her nodes.
I don't even look at those.
Yeah, it's like when I think about it from like if you really want like the premium, then like, you know, maybe like an S2 or something, right? Something you can pick up from the shop. Her weapon scales disgustingly with sequence nodes because she loses the need to like build crit anymore either, right? Because she gets like 40% free, you're maxed out anyways, then she gets that conversion, and it's like her weapon's like poor crit actually scales really well the more you invest. So it's like, I guess like if you're thinking about it from like the Giga Whale inside, you got like a little bit of a bonus there, but you know, it is what it is.
My thing is, I've never had a problem. I don't have any issue with Gion's weapon being universally savvy. That was never a problem. My thing is, if hers is gonna be so niche, like the problem here is Gion, you can use it on him, you can use it on her, you can use it on the fucking big titty girl. It's way more universal. So whereas hers, it's literally she's the only one that can use it. So I think that deserves more of a spike in performance just because how do you justify $100 otherwise?
Yeah, I guess the thing is that the only way that this effect can really be like, I guess, justified more in the future is if like there's a bunch of enemies with a fuck ton of defense. I'm hoping that's not what the case is, and then only like Augusta and Yuno, because her weapon ignores defense as well, would be like the only characters that would feel like pretty good against them. It's just, the way that I view this one is just like, it's got like a unique stat spread that for some characters could be all right. Like, and it also does, it's got the attack bonus of 12%. And the way that I view it is that this entire second part, where after the attack of 12%, there's a lot of characters in the game already where it's like, I'm just gonna be honest here, right? Like, look at that Lupa's weapon. If you look at anything beyond 12% and you're a character that doesn't do liberation damage or heavy attacks, like imagine not like a Jinsei, imagine like a Gion using this, the weapon skill ends here, right? And for like Augusta, it's like, you know, casting a resonance skill, you gain at least 20%. That's like the baseline one for everybody. And like, maybe it's base stats alone to like enough for you to like give it a try on like a Jinsei or something if you're only using like the standard Broadblade. So it's just like, I feel like it has like a similar level of usability, just like a different stat spread. And maybe with like more attack scaling, it scales better too. Because like, you know, that's the one thing Verena got. She gives more attack than Shorekeeper.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's quite a bit of nuance to all the different signature weapons and how they, you know, are effective against particular characters. One thing I would like to bring up is people were talking about, and I wasn't around for this. This is when I was just playing the story, but people were talking about Furlova's apparently is substantially larger than her regular shit.
That's the thing. Her weapon is, by calculations, a lot better than the standard one. That's because the standard one is so dog shit on her. Like, Cosmic Ripples gives you, like, basic attack damage, ER, and we all know Furlova don't use that shit. Then like it's like her weapon, it's got like a little bit of that defense ignore, but it's just got like the echo skill damage amp that no other thing in the game does, right? And so it's like a very unique like skill modifier on top of like the resonance skill damage bonus that like makes it edge out. But then it's like, if you run actual clears between Stringmaster and Lethian Elegy for Lova Sig, the difference is like legitimately less than 5 seconds between the runs. Because Furlova isn't like one of those characters that's dealing all the damage on the team. Unless it's in Whimpering Waste. She shares that field time, right? Rosia does that damage too. Not that much, but a little bit. Cantarella does damage as well. And she's a character where, yes, her personal damage is going to vary a lot with her weapon, but the team's overall damage, not that much with the weapon. So it's like, that was like a bit of an overblown issue as well. Just from my opinion, I can understand where people are coming from in a vacuum, but in actual results, it don't play out like that.
No, it's funny. That's the same thought process I have on weapons. How much field time are they actually utilizing the buffs attached to the weapon versus no field time? But, you know, at the end of the day, I love that at least you went through the rotation so people can have that result available to them. There was a bit of a stat discrepancy, but I do think your way, especially in terms of like people who suck at rotations, it's just going to be the better way to go about it.
Yeah, it's probably the most simple. It's one of the most simple ones in the game, I think, in my opinion. Very like it like mimics Carlotta's in terms of like how 1, 2, 3 it is. You know, you just end with like the echo skill, then go back to Shorekeeper. I think she's a beginner unit. It was kind of time that we got another beginner unit because, I mean, the last one that we had was like 2.0. The kits have been a little bit complex and hard to work around since. So,
yeah, man. Good discussion, brother. I'll let you get back to your video. Feel free to react to either or. It doesn't matter to me. I wanted to make sure you were aware. I wasn't coming in here to be like, let's fucking debate now.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean?
no,
I wanted
no,
to come to a good answer.
Nah, that's what I've been trying to do across the entire react. I was like, Smack's probably got a decent reason for why he has such a strong opinion about this, but I just want to make sure that like he fully knows, or like that we're fully aware of how he's thinking about it. Because now that we've gotten the explanation, I've been able to see like, you know, your Augusta rotation video. I'm like, I get why he's a little pissed. I get why he's a little mad, because yes, it isn't working, but it's because he's not doing the prescribed thing with this kit.
It's also not that either. It's also straw man's. Like, people will say shit like, oh, so you don't want her to have better options? I never said that, brother. I said I would like her signature to be stronger. But you get how it goes, man. It's all good.
Yeah. All right. Glad that we had that chat. I think it's perfect context. All right, awesome, dude.
All right, buddy.
Well, hopefully I didn't interrupt your afternoon too much. Have a good one.
Nah, you're good, man.
All right.
Kill it, brother.
All right, peace out. Okay, so that was a little bit of an intermission, but hopefully people are like more aware now of like what's going on. And, well, naturally, right? I think we had like a good explanation, like a good talk for what's going on. Yeah, his rotation was not fully leveraging all the buffs properly, but that's because he was trying to get too creative with it. I guess after the talk, there's probably not that much of a reason to, like, dissect the video much further. I mean, we weren't even, like, dissecting in the first place, right? We were trying to just explain his point of view. I think it's really just, Smack was going into and trying out some spicy rotations to bring some variety into the gameplay. And Augusta's weapon has a very prescribed way of applying its buffs. In that, if you don't really do the rotation in the way that, like, she's designed to do it, the buffs fall off, the Sonata set falls off, and your overall performance in the run kind of gets, like, fucked over a little bit. And so the complaint isn't necessarily that, like, the weapon is, like, too weak. The complaint is more so necessarily Augusta's playstyle is just inherently restrictive. The Sonata set is restrictive, and the weapon is restrictive. And if you're using both of those, then you're sort of tied into one type of rotation to, well, deliver the damage at, like, max capacity. And if you do try to, like, mess around with some other stuff, then you'll run into some issues. So I think we'll just cut off the video here after the chat with Smack, after the breakdown. I don't see, like at this point, right, it's like half the stuff that he's saying, I feel like it's like he would say it differently with the new context that we just went through today. So I'll probably just post this with, like, a spicy thumbnail, because I'm gonna be real, right? I think he did, like, piss some people off, but hopefully this video can help, like, break down why some of the people are pissed, where there was, like, some, I guess, potentially, like, misunderstanding, and where some revelations have occurred. And we can just move on from this as more educated individuals and, you know that there can be polite, civil disagreements in the gacha space. I, like, basically kind of, like, dug into him a little bit. We hopped on call, and we hashed it out like adults. Very, very nice. So, yeah, no drama here, ladies and gentlemen, but the thumbnail will be a little bit spicy, because why the fuck not? I think we had a fun chat. So, yeah, that'll be that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you all thought about our breakdown over here. I think we've gotten to the bottom of the issue, and I don't think we need to, like, I don't think we need to get into this one too much. So, yeah, that'll be that. Let me know what you all thought. Peace.